Good morning, friends of the channel. Today we've got a lovely big old piece of furniture. In fact, we salvaged it from a house that was sold where we picked up loads of furniture. The best way for us to always have beautiful furniture to show you is either to go to certain antique dealers and specialised markets and look for unique pieces. Or we might find pieces like this one, which are perhaps on a larger scale, exactly this way. So we go to someone who, luckily, calls us to avoid throwing them away. We buy them and stock them. Sometimes it's 20 to 50 pieces of furniture, including some beautiful chairs for Emma. So what do we need to do? We've picked up loads of furniture. There'll be this one, but there'll also be a twin, just a bit smaller. So if in a little while you see another tutorial with a smaller piece of furniture, it hasn't shrunk, it's a twin. This lovely piece of furniture caught my eye straight away. Why is that? Why did it catch my eye straight away? Because when I see such beautiful, smooth surfaces that let me do whatever I want, that's essential for me, because anyone can decorate lovely Baroque chests of drawers with lots of finishes and frills, or the Chippendale ones, which are even more distinctive. But when it comes to smooth, square furniture, that's where real skill comes in. And today, we're using this stencil, which, in my opinion, only 1 in 1,000 really gets because it's not obvious how to understand it. Not because you wouldn't, of course. Anyway, it's a stencil that Emma and I have had in mind for years, and we finally managed to make it. It's a wonderful stencil, both for walls and for furniture. The first workshop to have used it wasn't this one, but the other one. This one is called Agadir. The other one is called Macaron. And my friend and surveyor, Fabrizio, made a wonderful nursery wall for the baby that's on the way. So I can assure you that this type of stencil is incredibly satisfying to use. And it's absolutely not to be seen as those old borders that used to be put up like that. It can become really modern. So stripes, but with a twist, a bit Arabic style. Shall we start? Let's start. All made of wood, beautiful, perfectly straight. Look how spacious it is. Little drawers hidden away. Let here, more compartments. A truly fantastic piece of furniture. It absolutely must be saved. But I don't like these central legs, which were probably added later to stop it from sagging. I want to replace them, not throw them away, just change them. Let's lay the piece on its back. We've done a painstaking job. Why that? Because these legs, beautiful and solid as they are impossible to find. Emma, show what we wanted to use as a replacement. Because we never throw anything away, we already have the right leg for the job. But, apart from the fact that it had a bit of woodwork, I've got 4 of them. Why take them away from a possible future restyling? So we decided to take this lead and simply cut it. So we got to work with the saw, took off these 2 pieces, grabbed a sander and did a proper job. We smoothed and slightly rounded the edges because obviously the other little legs are rounded, not square. It's a beautiful, solid wood without a single trace of woodworm. And so I wanted to use this leg. Moreover, we kept the top width at 10 centimetres because that's the same width as here on the other leg. And so we want the starting point to be exactly the same. I like it, even though its shape is slightly different from the ones on the sides, because it really echoes the shape of the piece of furniture. So in my opinion, it looks absolutely great. Now, we'll show you how we put it back on, because it's not a given that the holes will be the same after sanding it down. We might have to move them, you see. This hole's quite far to the side compared to these ones, so we need to recenter them, obviously having removed a piece. So we're going to center everything. And what do? Emma, help me. We take some paper, a bit bigger. Don't use a small piece or you'll struggle. You put it on the base. Make the holes, all 4 of them. The 4 holes that we want to reuse because we'll be putting 4 screws back in. They need to be fairly well centred with the centre of the leg and over here as well. And now, make the template. The template is the perfect outline of the leg. Do it at the back as well, so that when you go later on, to drill to put the leg back on. Okay, now we are good. Good, Emma. Now you take off the paper tape and put it back on perfectly. What do we do now? We're going to make little holes in the leg to stop it from splitting. Why? Because if we were to put a screw straight into the wood at this point, it could even crack. So you use the finest wood drill bit you have to start the hole where the screw will go. This way it won't split. I'll show you. we'll place our little wooden leg in this lovely, sturdy old clamp to hold it very still. As you can see, Emma has chosen the perfect size and made the holes underneath. And voila, the ones you see marked with pen are the correct holes. Now, I'm just starting the screw off. I'm not going all the way in because there's no need. Now let's use the old holes. Well done, Emma. Mark them for me again. This way, by using the old holes, we don't make any new holes in the furniture. That's the important thing, because the leg is fine, but the furniture already has some pre-existing holes. So we can confidently mark exactly which ones are correct without going into the old ones and fix it again. Now I start screwing in one screw so that Emma can find the first one and the starting point. We'll just start by screwing it in slightly. It's just a guide, it's not fixed yet. Now we'll put another one on the other side so it balances out. Perfect. And now we can screw in the other two to give it more stability. And here's the fourth screw. Now the leg is brand new. Now let's stand it up and show how the shape of this piece of furniture has changed thanks to the new leg. Obviously, we'll remove the handles first of all, because for the work we need to do, it's better to have the furniture completely smooth. And that's a stroke of luck. Secondly, because we also want to polish them as they're no longer shiny. Let's remove this cover. So you'll definitely have come across, or will come across, furniture with this kind of cover. We're not throwing it away, quite the opposite, because it needs to go back on later. If the little tacks are a bit bent, we'll straighten them out with some pliers. This way, we do a nice, precise job. Set them aside, and with a small pair of pliers, this one is for electricians, but it's perfect for this kind of work. Let's unscrew this old square bolt, but be careful, as every screw matches its own bolt, so don't mix them up. Now that we're removing the knob, let's immediately put this little square bolt back on the back, because it was actually cut right on this thread. In fact, if you look here, the spindle that was sticking out has been cut here. So what's going on? I've unscrewed the front. Now I'll unscrew the back as well, like this, and screw it back on straight away. This way, I'm sure that its screw has its own bolts and its own knob, and I won't mix them up. And there you go, I'm taking them all off. Here, the bolt has come off, so let's unscrew the knob and immediately pair it with its bolt. Because if they get mixed up with others, they may not fit perfectly because the threading's different. So in this case, I take it off and pull it back on immediately before putting it in the bowl. This way, I won't mix it up with other knobs. I'll carry on. Let's mask off all the parts that could get dirty when we paint. So this little bit of chain goes next to the piece of wood. Let's line up our masking paper to prevent it from getting dirty. Let's also make sure to protect the various metal components, because the inside of the door will be properly painted, but not the chain. Now, I will give you some really useful tips for using paint and a roller when it's warmer. What are they? First of all, the rollers. Never use rollers with too short a nap when it's very hot and you're using pure paint, because they might not self-level. And especially now that I'm using a medium pile roller, do this. So put some masking tape on it to make it soft again. Why do I use a medium pile roller? Because it holds more paint, releases it more slowly, self-levels better. I use less paint. Sometimes just one coat is enough here. In fact, definitely just one coat. And above all, I get a finer finish without any orange peel effect. But the most important thing, what you really need to keep in mind, is that if you dilute the paint, it will cover less, even though magic paint has excellent adhesion, even when diluted. So when the temperature is like this, if you want the paint to glide on nicely, don't add too much water. Better to add just a drop of protective coating instead. So what do? I start by putting some royal green in my tray, one of my favourite greens. I put in a good amount because the piece of furniture is large. And some protective coating. I always recommend this. Either use the satin or the gloss. Avoid the matte one because it contains a lot of matting agent and might make the paint glide less smoothly. About 2 tablespoons for this manic. What will happen is that I mix it really well with the roller, so I thoroughly combine the two components, and the protective finish will make the paint much more viscous. What does viscous mean? It means it'll glide better without causing friction. As you can see, I've thoroughly combined the two components, and now I'm not going to press down too hard, even though it's a nice full roller. I'm going to gently remove the excess, because obviously this roller absorbs a lot, and you can tell by the weight as well. Always follow the grain of the wood to avoid mistakes, working from top to bottom. Look at the incredible coverage it already has with just one coat. You really shouldn't be fooled by the fact that at the moment you can see a slight orange peel effect, because this delicate texture will completely vanish from sight due to the protective coating that will gradually self-level and smooth out the colour. So in just a moment you'll see it become thin, smooth and velvety. And they will be gone. No more roller marks or orange peel effect. As you can see, the long nap of the roller even gets into the grooves, so it's much easier to cover mouldings and details this way. In this case, I won't take it from here because I only need a little. I'll take some from the tray and finish off this part here. Also, always remember that it's essential to finish this side properly before moving on to another part of the furniture. Here, obviously, there are some areas that aren't even, so I don't go back to the start, but I pick up from where I left off before. From start to finish, I smooth out the paint so it becomes even, making sure there are no marks left by the roller. And there you have it. Now I'll move to the other side and continue in the same way. Even though we'll add the brush, because there are places the roller can't reach, Emma will carry on with the pointed toothbrush. Let's start from this side. You've put in some pins just to open it up properly. And there, what we should do, she'll paint all the spots I can't reach with the roller. Like here, the hinge, as you can see, I can't use the roller here. In the meantime, I'll paint the door as well. I'll paint the inside parts and the outside parts too. But I won't paint the rest of the inside. When you do this step with the brush, you shouldn't leave it as is. You need to go over it straight away with the roller, so there aren't any differences in the finish. The brush is our tool for reaching certain spots, but you shouldn't have both brush and roller strokes together. Now, since I have a very clever roller, I can go ahead and do the edges straight away. Emma goes over all the areas my roller can't reach, and I just do the doors. There shouldn't be any uneven roller marks, so the whole surface needs to be smoothed out. All the edges are done very carefully, because with just one roller, you can do everything, even the smoothest edges. Oh wow! Obviously we carry on with the mess. You know, we always have to get creative, and when we suggest makeovers like this, where precision is key, we work on it really all night long. What did we decide? to show you what, in our opinion, is the easiest method for making stripes like these. With stencils like this one on furniture and on walls, why? Because sometimes the walls are crooked, the furniture's crooked, and masking tape can also be a problem. So pay attention and make a note of all the steps I'm about to give you here. First of all, you see a laser oval, but roughly how much does a laser level cost? You can find them for around €30. It's not a big investment, but remember you can also use it to hang pictures on the walls, make sure they're straight, put up curtain rods, so even for small finishing touches. And moreover, when you're making stripes on furniture and walls, it really is a lifesaver. We've already used the level more than once when putting up wallpaper at various stages, but always remember that you have it. After that, we took 2 stencils because we already had them. We have our 2 that were open, so we just put 1 stencil here, which is at the top, and there, which is on the lower part, because we're going to make these big stripes that start right from the stencil. You don't have to do it. You can use this border to then paint a solid colour. So the idea we're giving you is to use the stencil, also creating stripe by following the design. That's our idea for today. Of course, you could have simply done the stencil on top, where up to here it was green, and here you could have started with the pink, for example, and at the bottom do the same. Go up to a certain point, take the stencil, move it, and do it again. Another border where underneath it was green, and in the middle the pink design remains. We want to make things more complicated for ourselves, so as many lines as there are divisions in the stencil. And we'll use both the part where the circle comes up, so here, there'll be a line here, right? Emma? There'll be a line here, but we'll also use the part where the semicircle goes down, so there'll be another line here. So a line going down and another line going down. Lines in different colours and shapes, all different in the end. So, have we centred it? The centre's done. Now, why are we using the spirit level? Because from here, where the line of this stencil starts, to where you can see the stencil line continues, we can be sure that with the masking tape, Emma and I are going straight. Because this piece of furniture is particularly crooked and because this floor is very uneven. I'm in a very old building, so even the floor tricks you in here. In fact, it always catches us out. The doors don't close, the furniture's crooked, but then when you move them to their final spot, they're always perfect. Masking tape. Emma will show you how she puts it on from over there, and I'll show you from here. Guys, remember that? Masking tape, when put on surfaces like this, can pull the paint off because underneath it was quite shiny and greasy. The surface, I mean, not because it wasn't washed properly. No, it was done, but in my opinion, over the years, they've also put oils and wax on the base. So always remember, it's better to remove masking tape while it's still wet, so don't go ripping off the masking tape when it's damp. If you like, you have 2 options. Buy low tack tape, which is tape with low adhesiveness, and we sell it, or dab a bit of the glue off onto your clothes. This way, the masking tape will pull less. Emma and I take the risk and remove it while it's wet. One thing you really need to pay attention to, obviously, apart from applying the masking tape precisely, is also masking the borders properly. Why? Because here we've actually got 2 borders. We never make life easy for ourselves. One here. I need to get right under the corner for precision. If you like, you can also use a small spatula if needed. All right then, and here we are just going to keep going straight. Now we'll do the same thing on the other side, moving the spirit oval. Okay, let's go. Keep going on then. Remember, you need to stay outside the line of the spirit level, and here we'll do the same. Wow! Shall we remind what's the trick for having perfectly straight, smudge-free lines? Go over the masking tape with a coat of the base colour, which is royal green. So before making any more stripes, moving stencils or anything else, what do? We're going to apply the royal green here already, and we'll put the colour here for you so we can decide together which colour to use. Also, we'll remove the masking tape straight away when it's still wet, so you can see all the key steps live to avoid making mistakes, like not pulling off the base colour and not ending up with smudged lines. Let's go.